Bonsoir, mesdames, messieurs, et bienvenue à cette première rencontre de la série opposant l'équipe nationale de l'Union soviétique à l'équipe Canada 74. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the opening game of the second Summit Series between the national team of the USSR and Team Canada 74. Maintenant, permettez-moi de vous présenter les membres de l'équipe nationale de l'URSS. And now, may I introduce the members of the national team of the Soviet Union. L'instructeur, the coach, Boris Kulagin. Coaches, les entraîneurs adjoints, Konstantin Loktev et Vladimir Yursinov. J'aimerais également vous présenter le responsable des sports d'hiver en URSS. I would also like to introduce to you the Chief of Winter Sports Department in USSR, Monsieur Valéry Six. Maintenant, les joueurs. Now the players. Le capitaine, le captain, le numéro 13, number 13, Alexander Boris Mihайлов. Le numéro 1, number 1, Alexander Sibelnikov. Le numéro 3, number 3, Vladimir Lutchenko. Le numéro 2, number 2, Anисин-Бодунов-Котов. Le numéro 5, number 5, Yuri Lapkin. Le numéro 6, number 6, Valéry Vasilia. Le numéro 7, number 7, Gennady Tsygankov. Le numéro 12, number 12, Victor Kuznetsov. Le numéro 11, number 11, Yuri Lebedev. Le numéro 10, number 10, Alexander-Maltsev. Le numéro 24, number 24, Alexander-Bodunov. Le numéro 16, number 16, Vladimir-Petrov. Le numéro 22, number 22, le numéro 8, number 8, Tretьяк. Le numéro 29, number 29, Kodov. Le numéro 19, number 9, les joueurs représentant l'équipe Canada. Here are the players representing Team Canada tonight. À leur tête, coaching, Billy Harris. Le gérant, the manager, Bill Hunter. Maintenant les joueurs, now the players. Le numéro 30, number 30, Jerry Chivers. Number 1, Don McLeod. Le numéro 2, number 2, Rick Lee. Le numéro 3, number 3, Jean-Claude Tremblay. Le numéro 4, number 4, Mike Walton. Le numéro 5, number 5, Richard Hull. Le numéro 6, number 6, Brad Selwood. Le numéro 7, number 7, André Lacroix. Le capitaine de l'équipe, the captain of Team Canada, le numéro 2, number 12, Stapleton. Le numéro 14, number 14, Ralph Backstrom. Le numéro 17, number 17, Rick Smith. Le numéro 18, number 18, Paul Schmier. Le numéro 19, number 19, Paul Anderson. Le numéro 20, number 20, Bruce McGregor. Le numéro 21, number 21, Serge Bernier. Le numéro 22, number 22, Marc Tardif. Le numéro 23, number 23, Johnny McKenzie. Le numéro 27, number 27, Frank Mahowlich. Le numéro 16, number 16, Bobby Hull. Mesdames, Messieurs, voulez-vous vous lever pour l'hymne national de l'Union des républiques socialistes soviétiques? Suivra immédiatement le Haut-Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the playing of the national anthem of the Soviet Union and remain standing for the playing of O Canada.
Like this international competition to grab you by the pit of the stomach as it is everybody here in the Quebec Coliseum. This is game one of the Canada-Soviet series from Quebec City.
Canada is an energy-rich country, but we consume over 45,000 gallons of oil every single minute of every day. If we continue to consume oil at this rate, without finding new sources, in 10 to 15 years we'll be into a serious supply shortage. We have to find more. And finding oil is a tough job. But with solid long-term objectives and policies from governments, combined with the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the oil industry to work out the details and mount the projects, the job will get done. But it won't come cheaply. Last year, Gulf Canada spent over $57 million finding and developing new energy resources. And this year we'll spend more than $110 million, because Gulf is confident that the petroleum reserves are there, enough to meet our needs for generations to come. With time, money, your understanding, and government cooperation, we'll stop a future supply shortage before it's too late.
Mesdames, Messieurs, nous sommes honorés par la présence du vice-président du comité des sports de l'Union soviétique, M. Georgi Rogoulski, qui accompagnera le Premier ministre du Canada, l'honorable Pierre-Trudeau, au centre de la patinoire pour la mise au jeu officielle. Également dans un geste de fraternité et d'amitié internationale entre les deux peuples, le Premier ministre Trudeau et M. Rogoulski ont invité les deux instructeurs, anciens joueurs nationaux pour leur pays respectif, à les joindre au centre de la patinoire. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored tonight by the presence of the Vice Chairman of the USSR Sports Committee, Mr. Georgi Rogoulski, who will accompany the Prime Minister of Canada, the Right Honorable Pierre Trudeau, to center ice for the official face-off. As an expression of international sportsmanship that transcends national barriers, they have invited the two head coaches, each a former national star, Boris Kulagin and Billy Harris, to join them for the face-off. Along the captain, both team captains are in center ice. En ceci général que le record d'assistance autorisé a été établi en 1968 lors du tournoi international de hockey de Québec. Claude Drouin, représentant des milliers de jeunes joueurs de hockey de par le monde, qui ont pris part à cet événement unique, remet un souvenir en marquant le début de cette série à ses quatre dignitaires. In 1968, the all-time attendance record here in the Coliseum was established during the annual Quebec International Pee Wee Tournament. Representing the thousands of Pee Wee players from all over the hockey world who have participated in this famous tournament is Claude Drouin, who will present each member of the official party with a special memento of the occasion.
What an exciting moment this must be for young Claude Drouin, who plays with his Sanfoy Pee-wees AA competition here as he presents the special memento to Mr. Rogolski now, after having previously presented one to Prime Minister Trudeau, now to Coach Boris Kulagin and Coach Billy Harris of the Canadian national team. And so with the ceremonies now having been completed, and to the royal red carpet to be lifted, we'll now start to take a look at some of the people who will be starring out there on the ice tonight. For example, on your screen now, you'll see number 16, Bobby Hull. On the right side, Gordie Howe. Two players who worked hard in the hot summer to get ready so that they, with their age and their experience, could go together to be ready for an early September game against the Soviets, a chance they did not have back in 1972. Number 16, Hull, and number 9, Howe. Now, for the Soviet team, number 15, we have Alexander Yakушев, who, in my opinion, is the greatest hockey player in Czechoslovakia, at least in Russia. But many around the world think that number 17, Valery Harlamov, is the outstanding player in all of Russia or all of Europe for that matter. Both players were outstanding in the 72 series. Yakuşev scored 7 goals, and Harlamov, he was outstanding. He took 3 goals and 4 assists. Here are the two people who are going to be called upon frequently in the series. Number 20, Vladislav Tretьяк, and number 30, Jerry Chivers. Tretьяk came in 72 and literally stood the Canadians on their ears because Canadians felt that goalkeeping would be a weak spot insofar as the Soviets were concerned, but we learned otherwise. And number 30, Jerry Chivers, in 6 years with the Boston Bruins, in 2 years with Cleveland Crusaders. Well, they're going to have a lot of firepower because both of these clubs are loaded with people who can shoot that puck. And now we're getting ready for the opening face-off. The referee is Joseph Kampala. Each team will not, well, I'll get an opportunity later to tell you how they're going to select the officials. But very briefly, a team out of this school will nominate 2, and the other team will then pick one of those 2. The linesmen are Sergei Gusev of Russia and Jim LeBlanc of Canada. Joseph Kampala of West Germany. Going to center ice will be number 14 for Canada, Ralph Backstrom, with Frank Mаховлич on the left wing. Gordie Howe, number 9, on the right wing. And for Russia, Vladimir Petrov, number 16, will go to center. Valery Harlamov on left wing. And Boris Mihайлov on the right side. The puck is dropped down. The 1974 competition is underway. Now it's Gusev leading that play up to the Canadian blue line with Whitey Stapleton to Mаховлич. Mаховлич out to center ice to Gordie Howe. Now back to Backstrom, back to Howe. Over that line, moving right in. And it's loose in front of the net. Here's it back to the blue line, and the shot goes wide. Alexander Gusev trying to take it outside his own zone, fed a long pass. Back out to it is Ralph Backstrom. Backstrom looking for the right side pass to Gordie Howe. And Howe is moving right in there. He's showing them that he's gone back to J.C. Tramble. He shoots. It's loose in front of the net. They bang at it. And that was hit out by Tretьяk. As the Canadians come up and open up, wide open by playing deep inside the Soviet zone, something that they had planned not to do. Back to J.C. Tramble as the Canadians are changing on the fly. They're playing with 4 lines, and they're going to be changing frequently. Here's Lacroix losing the puck at center ice. Back on the right side to Harlamov. He's looking for Mihайлov. Mihайлov, number 13, he's bumped in there by Lacroix. He loses the puck and is taken by number 27, Frank Mаховлич. Whitey Stapleton dumps in. Going in over the line is Mаховлич fighting for it. And back comes Mihайлov at center ice, number 13, but Johnny McKenzie is out there with Lacroix. Bobby Hull comes out onto the ice. The Canadians are all bunching on the near side. Here's a pass over to Paul Smir. Smir to Bobby Hull. Hull over the line. He's hit and goes through. What a fast, wide open opening this game has had. It's back to the blue line, and it's intercepted by 15, Yakuşev. To Shadrin, to Maltsev. Over the line, he does it. Shadrin takes it. But he was called onside on the Canadian blue line. Well, Howie, I thought they were going to open this up and play man-for-man checking to see to feel each other out, but they've done everything but that.
I was kind of surprised. I saw Stapleton leave his defensive position and make a rush on the far side, leaving his side open. But the key is they're sending one man in, and the wings are picking up the wings.
Now it's number 5, Kapustin. Stopped there by Jerry Chivers to Bobby Hull around the boards. He gives it to Johnny McKenzie. McKenzie's pass intended for Lacroix was too far, and it goes all the way down the ice, and it was fouled back to icing. 2 minutes gone in the 1974 series. What we're looking for here with Andre Lacroix, number 7, he'll be looking to dump that left wing pass to Bobby Hull. Hull will be winding up in his own zone, and they're looking to give Hull that big break down the left side and hope that he can get advantage of that tremendous shot he has. Shadrin and Lacroix. Lacroix gets the draw. Now they scramble for it under the legs, and it's taken by Paul Schmier. Schmier around the back of the Canadian net. Schmier is known as a hitter, but he's been told not to hit too often in this game. He's being checked very close, though. Throws it up there to Bobby Hull. He loses it, and Hull goes back for it. Bobby Hull turns. He's tied up by Yakuşev. And Paul Schmier goes in to help him out. The puck is loose inside the Canadian zone. They try to come out the short side. There's a shot. It's blocked. Here comes Bobby Hull down the left wing, and he's tied up and pulled down. And the play is whistled dead. There's Paul Schmier reacting to a Russian player. And you're going to see some of that, even though Billy Harris says the perfect scheme would try to play for no penalties in 8 games and eliminate the Russian power play. Anison, number 22, with Bodnov, 24 in the left wing. For Canada, it's the French selection line with Bernier at center, with Régine Houle. And Mark Tardif on the forward line. Whitey Stapleton and J.C. Trombley on the defense. Here comes Whitey Stapleton. Up to his own line. The pass intended over there for Mark Tardif went too far. It's held inside. And there's a tremendous body kick to go right in front. They bang it, the loose puck. Lebedev took a tremendous body check.
Look at this. Great save by Tretchek, and he also got the rebound.
Serge Bernier at center gets the draw. It's brought back out to the line, out to center ice. It's Bodnov, number 24. A long bouncing shot comes out on the open side. Out in front of the net, here it is Lutchenko. Lutchenko, the shot is blocked. Goalkeeper Jerry Chivers got a skate on it. Now it's Yuri Lebedev, number 11, intercepted by 21 Bernier. Around the back of the net to J.C. Trombley. Trombley. Ahead to Régine Houle. And it's intercepted. Anison, number 22, over the Canadian line. He has to stick handle with it, puts it right out in front, and back after it is number 12, Konstantin Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov, number 12, to Anison. Anison takes a look. Stapleton ties him up, and it's intercepted by Bernier. 4 minutes gone in the opening period. There's no score. Bernier down the right side, breaks between 2 players, and then throws a blind pass. Here comes Paul Henderson. Henderson came out off the boards as they're changing on the fly. Lutchenko, number 3, on the right side. Back out to center ice to Harlamov. Harlamov going in over the line. His pass was too far. Puts it right back out in front again. Back to Gusev. Gusev shot. Blocked in front of the net. With Jerry Chivers down. Vasiliev to Mikhailov. Mikhailov is tied up now by Stapleton. There's a loose puck in front of the net. And it's taken by J.C. Trombley. Trombley to Henderson. Henderson's long shot. And Tretchak turned it aside there. It's right in. And Bruce McGregor just missed as he had the goalkeeper out of position. Now it's Mike Walton up there at center with McGregor parked in front of the net. Right out in front again, and Walton couldn't turn back for it. Walton leading scorer in the WHA. Throws it back over on the wing. It's picked off by Petrov, number 16. The Russians are being forced back inside their own zone. Ahead up in the left wing to Harlamov. The pass bounced off his stick. Number 6 is Brad Selwood. Put it on the stick of Gusev. Now it's Mike Walton winding up. Walton to Selwood behind their own goal. And the Team Canada's playing it very cautiously inside their own zone. They don't want to make any mistakes back there. Here comes Ricky Lee up there with McGregor. McGregor over the line to Walton. Walton going in offside. Paul Henderson was a half a step ahead of the play.
Canada, when they're close to the puck, are taking the man, but the problem is the Canadian in their own end, furthest from the puck, is leaving the play and running ahead. And if the Russians pick it off, we're going to be in trouble. The only time we've been in trouble so far, Johnny, is when the Canadian hasn't picked up his man.
Shadrin, number 19, against Ralph Baxter, pulled a face-off. Schmier shot. Blocked. Shadrin takes it. Head to Maltsev. Maltsev, and he's blocked by Schmier. It goes into the corner. Great recovery by Paul Schmier. As it's Rick Smith, number 17, deep inside Canadian territory, loses it, and it's picked off by Smith, who came back into position. Back out to the blue line, Sigankov. Cıgankov throws a rink-wide pass. Is taken by Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe turns. He's dumped. Taken by Shadrin. Over to Yakuşev. And Yakuşev takes a shot from Gordie Howe. Here comes Frank Mahowlich. Mahowlich is bumped in there by number 5, Ляпкин. Wide open hockey game as Maltsev goes down to the Canadian blue line. Gordie Howe's over there to tie him up, and he flips it out to center ice. That goes over the red line, but they had a chance to make a play on it, and it's out to center ice to Yakuşev. Yakuşev turns, wheels the pass to Shadrin. Shadrin throwing a long pass intended for Maltsev. Maltsev trying to tie up Rick Smith. Shadrin is bumped in there by Backstrom in the corner. They have a man loose in front of the net, but Schmier is really banging at him. And Jerry Chivers has to come out to grab the loose puck. No score, 13:24 remaining in the opening period. The score, Canada nothing and the Soviets nothing. This game, game number 1 is from Quebec City.
Come on, Larry, let's get the show on the road. We've been all over the place. What kind of affairs are going to be without the O'Keefe caravan? This is their dressing room, office, PA system.
Okay, wise guy. You find it.
Turn left here. Sorry. Guess we should have turned right. The O'Keefe caravan will go to any community event, if you'll tell us how to get there. Just give us a call at Sport O'Keefe.
From the face-off, the play goes right over to Bodnov inside the Canadian zone. It's back out to the blue line. Back out to Lutchenko. Lutchenko's shot is blocked and is taken over here by Johnny McKenzie off the boards out to center ice. Bobby Hull is circling over to center to make the check on Bodnov. And Andre Lacroix goes over to pick up Hull's wing. Out to center. Bodnov 24. To the blue line to Lebedev. Lebedev back to Lutchenko, who shoots, and that's wide. Another shot that bounces over his stick. Back out to the line. It's Anison. Anison keeping it in. Here's Whitey Stapleton with Bobby Hull. Bobby Hull at center. They're changing players on the move. Hull over the line. Couldn't get his shot away. Trying to put it in front of the net with number 21, Serge Bernier. Couldn't get into position. Both teams are changing on the fly. Anison took a bit of a stick check there from Regine Houle. And back comes number 21, Serge Bernier. Bernier at center. Cut from behind by Harlamov, number 17. Harlamov, 2-on-2. Back to the blue line, and Petrov shoots. Oh, and a great save by Jerry Chivers as he went to the top left-hand corner.
Some very amazing things are happening here, and it's Lacroix checking and McKenzie checking, but the three Russians are breaking away here in this position because the Canadians went in 3 abreast. And watch this great shot and a great save.
Goalkeeper needs a couple of big ones early in the game to really give him the confidence he needs, and Jerry Chivers has made a couple of good ones. Now it's Petrov on the face-off, loses it to Serge Bernier with Brad Selwood behind his own net, number 6. Brad Selwood ahead to Regine Houle. Houle back to a corner, and it's Ricky Lee taking a look. The Russians are sending 2 men in deep as Houle goes around the back of his own net. Scoreless hockey game. Play comes over to Selwood. Selwood trying to dump it out, and the Canadians are having trouble getting it out of there. Finally, it's put to the blue line, but not out as Vasiliev kept it in. Here comes Mark Tardif, and he sidestepped the body check from Vasiliev. Vasiliev is a good body checker. Now there's a bump with Bernier and Mikhailov, number 13, the captain of the Soviets. 11 minutes remaining in the first period. No score. Offside at center ice. Now we have Brad Selwood, number 6, and number 16, Vladimir Petrov, waving their sticks at each other. Mike Walton coming out on the ice for Canada to play center. Walton, who scored 57 goals and 60 assists for 117 points to win the WHA championship this past season. Now, Paul Smear rushes in, takes a poke at the puck, and then hurries back to his position. At the line, it's a pass on the right side to Bruce McGregor. McGregor, oh, his pass to Henderson was just a half stride too far ahead. Back comes the Soviets, led by Yakushev. Yakushev with Shadrin. He goes into the corner. He is tied up and is taken over there by number 17, Rick Smith. They leave it at the line. Paul Henderson's long shot is wide. Tretьяк turns it back in the net. There's Henderson in throwing a body check. Number 19, Vladimir Shadrin. Number 19 on the right side for the Soviets. He stopped it inside the Canadian line. The puck comes out, taken by MacGregor. It's a 2-on-1 break. MacGregor with Paul Henderson. Henderson going in with MacGregor. Oh! And the puck bounced right over the top of his stick in a beautiful passing play. Here it is, back to Yakushev. Yakushev, 2-on-2. It's Maltsev. Maltsev let the long shot go, but that hit the stick of Rick Smith. Jerry Chivers grabbed it to hold on. A hot night, just like it was 2 years ago in the Montreal Forum, when the Soviets opened with that 7-3 win. But they didn't know what to expect that time. Team 74 knew what to expect when they met Team 74 from the Soviet side. Now J.C. Tremblay, who's got great moves. Dumps the puck out to center ice. Long pass to Lutchenko. Lutchenko cutting in with Anison. Anison trying to lay it out in front. He shoots. Oh, and a great save by Jerry Chivers. Back out to the front of the net. It's Bodnov. Bodnov to Anison. And that's intercepted by Whitey Stapleton. He leaves the pass for J.C. Tremblay. Tremblay picking up to the line. The pass over there to Ralph Backstrom, but he's called offside. Ralph Backstrom, who at 37 years of age, playing like he's about 25 or 26 rather than 37. But he, I think, has been one of the outstanding players in the training camp for Team Canada so far. Now Gordie Howe is out there on the right side with J.C. Tremblay carrying the puck. Backstrom with him. Oh, and he took that pass and couldn't hold it. Back come the Soviets, led by Lebedev, number 11. Lebedev, the pass over to Lutchenko. Lutchenko, long shot, shot it wide, looking for his own rebound, but it's taken by Gordie Howe. Here's Howe. Passes over on the wing and dumps it out to center ice. And the Canadians are changing on the fly. Andre Lacroix. Try to check. Number 12, Konstantin Kuznetsov. Finally does. Passes back out to center right for Lacroix. Lacroix with Howe on the wing. Pass over the right side to Mahowlich. Oh! A weak shot went wide of the net. Howe trying to keep it in. Mahowlich comes over to do the back checking. Look at this. And here's Howe dumping it into Lacroix. Back over to Brad Selwood. Selwood to Mahowlich. Mahowlich racing in the corner. Howe goes off and Johnny McKenzie comes on. McKenzie throws a body check in the corner. Puck comes out to Mihailov at center ice now. Bobby Hollow's out there. Harlamov. Harlamov is overskated and the puck slides to the corner. Good back checking by Johnny McKenzie. He ties up Gusev. Gusev then breaks away. And Jerry Chivers takes a slash at Mihailov, who is standing in front of the net. Here's a pass over to Bobby Howe. Howe couldn't get his stick on it. Howe overskated it. Fights to hold on. The puck hits the side of the net. And he looks for the bang in. Oh! Johnny McKenzie. Andre Lacroix. .47 mark.
All right, watch this play. Throws it right back out in front. Just tremendous anticipation. Howe popped in and McKenzie read the signals right. Great goal.
7 minutes and 47 seconds remaining in the opening period, and Canada has opened the scoring. With the score, Canada 1, Soviets nothing. This is game 1 from Quebec City.
Good evening. So, Howe, what fiendish contraption have you devised to pit me against this time?
The pendulum. The principal weapon in a game of deadly accuracy I call pendulum pull. Play.
Butt out. I win. Pay off, Poe.
Seize him.
Master, look, and you'll not cook it. How can I ever thank you?
Forget it.
Pendulum Pool by Aurora.
Serge Bernier goes to center ice now as Canada leads 1-0. And the long shot will be called back for icing. It's interesting to note on a new computer we're using that in the checking system, Gordie Howe has had to make 2 checks, has got 99% of it. A computer that's going to tell us the time on the ice, the number of checks made, the misses, the goals, assists, the times, and a number of things. And right so far, Gordie Howe is batting 99% in the checking department. Here comes Serge Bernier with Houle up on the right side. And Mark Tardiffe goes in over that line, puts it up front! And Serge Bernier had a rolling puck that he couldn't shoot. Back out front now to regain Houle. Houle getting in front, he shoots! Hits the side of the net. Back in the goal goes Tardiffe, back to the blue line. And there's a race for it with Rick Smith, the old Boston Bruin, back to the line. Head over on the left wing to Paul Schmier, and he overskates it. This is Maltsev. Maltsev taken by Houle. Houle with Bernier, 2-on-2. Up over that Soviet blue line. Looking for Houle in front of the net. He shoots! Oh! He slid it right by the goalpost. Oh, a beautiful play by Regine Houle. Now they're really starting to hit down there. Back to the blue line to Tardiffe. Tardiffe to Rick Smith. He shoots! Tretchak saves. Into the corner again. This time it's Regine Houle fighting for it with Shadrin. Face-off will come outside the Soviet blue line. Serge Bernier. 27-year-old Serge Bernier.
Watch the checking here behind the net. And it's amazing how the Canadian players are walking around the Russian players. Just a goal missed right there. Now look at this. It's going to be quite a, I would think, a violent, tough checking hockey game.
Back to the blue line. Whitey Stapleton shoots it deflected right over the top of the net. And a great chance there for Stapleton because Tretchak was blocked on the shot. Now come the Soviets inside their own line, led by Kuznetsov, number 12. They head to Bodnov. Bodnov back to Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov up over the line, a long, weak shot. Turned aside by Chivers around the back of the net to J.C. Tremblay. Tremblay has trouble controlling it as Bodnov takes it away from him. They have a man loose in front of the goal. Back to Lutchenko. And Lutchenko's shot hit an ankle. This is Lebedev. Lebedev gets away from Tremblay. Stapleton knocks the puck off his stick. And then Stapleton goes in to tie him up in the corner. Whitey Stapleton around the boards and out to center ice. Back over the blue line. It's offside. Bruce McGregor was in and out. McGregor out there with Mike Walton. And with Paul Henderson on the left wing. There's Billy Harris, who's had so much international experience. And so far is certainly paying off. What a job he's done with this club.
I think Billy Harris got to the Canadian players to bring them back in front of the net. They're giving the Russians a corner and flooding the middle of the ice, and it's going to be pretty tough for the Russians to get a shot away going through the center with 3 red jerseys plugged in there.
All right, now it's Ralph Backstrom's line out there with Frank Machowicz and Gordie Howe. The puck is clear to the line, but not out. Coming dangerously close back of his own net there was Ricky Lee. He finally does lose the puck, has to go back and fight for it, and Gordie Howe takes it. Howe loses it. Back out to Howe, to Machowicz. Machowicz with Howe, 2 men back. He goes around one. Trying to get set, but he had a rolling puck that he couldn't control. Right out for the tank! Oh! And Ralph Backstrom missed as he had the goalkeeper Tretchak out of position. Now it's Harlamov. Harlamov around in front of the net. They shoot. And it's picked off by Gordie Howe. Howe to Machowicz. Machowicz at center ice. Machowicz is checked. And the Soviets take over again. And the Soviets are throwing that puck out to center ice. Something we haven't seen them do too often. This is Gordie Howe being checked. Over to Harlamov. Harlamov shoots. The puck is bouncing in midair and is taken there now by... Oh, the goalkeeper, Jerry Chivers, was well out of the net. Gordie Howe is on top of one player. Mihайлов holds him down. And he was doing... Now watch goalkeeper Jerry Chivers knock Mihайлov away from the front of that net. There's Harlamov with Mihайлov. Here's Andrei Lacroix. Lacroix, he's hit hard at center ice by Vasiliev. Here goes the shot there by Selwood. Or by Ricky Lee, and it went wide of the net. Back comes Vasiliev, number 6, and both teams are changing on the fly. A 1-0 hockey game with 4 minutes remaining and Canada leading. And there's a good body check, goes into the corner. The puck goes into the crowd. That was Ricky Lee.
Got to be just tremendous hockey, Johnny. It's great bodily contact hockey, and what's encouraging, all the Canadian players are finishing the check now. They're coming back deep in their own zone, and we're sneaking the odd fella around the defenseman. Цыганков missed the check, and Vasiliev missed the check. So if our fellas can stay wide and go around them, it's going to be lots of action.
There's a strap loose on goalie Jerry Cheever's pad, but he is now called referee Kampala over, and he allows him to fix it. The linesman is Sergei Gusev from Russia and Jim LeBlanc from Canada. Now we're having a change with Serge Bernier going off, and Andrei Lacroix comes on with Johnny McKenzie and Bobby Hull. Shadrin gets the draw. Back to the blue line, but it hopped over the stick of Sigankov, and he goes back to center for it. This is Rick Smith. Rick Smith couldn't make a play. Paul Schmier. Schmier, number 18, working his way to center. And he lost control of it. Back comes Maltsev. Maltsev going, and he shoots. Oh, they went wide. He tried to play for the short side as Bobby Hull takes it. Hull fights for it. And the puck is bouncing high in the air. Goes deep into Soviet territory. Back to the line. Schmier can't hold it in. Has to wait for them to get onside, and Bobby Hull takes Shadrin out of the play. Over to Lacroix. Back over to Bobby Hull. He shoots. Oh, and he just got a half a second late on that slap shot. But that's the play I was telling you about earlier. They're looking for Lacroix to feed that little left wing pass to Hull.
Well, if he can get it to him often enough, he doesn't draw back too far. Right here. Well, listen, we got into trouble here because the Canadian team gets the puck, and when we run 3 or 4 ahead of the play, then the Russians are going to take it off of us, and it's going to be 2-on-1 and 3-on-2, and we're in trouble. As long as we play defensive hockey, Johnny, completely take the man at every opportunity, and we're not going to get 6 goals. So the key here is keep them out of our net first, and then we'll get them up the other end.
Bernier shoots from the face-off, and it just goes wide of the net. Bernier gets the rebound, lays it out in front again, and Mark Tardif couldn't get his shot. I'll tell you, these referees are letting more go than I thought they would, particularly Kampala. Now is J.C. Tremblay. Good playmaker, but he put that one right onto the stick of an opposing player is Lutchenko. Lutchenko over on the left wing to number 22, Anison. Anison's shot is well off the mark. Tardif loses it to Bodnov. It's intercepted off the boards, and racing after it is Bernier. But Bernier was too well tied up by number 12, Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov, he's hit by Mark Tardif. Tardif give him a bit of an elbow along the way. Here's Lebedev. Lebedev back to Anison in front of that goal, and Whitey Stapleton covers up beautifully. Well, this is 2 minutes and 33 seconds left, and there's a look at the Soviet bench that averages 24 and a half years of age. They have the 17 best players from the 72 team, and they've added 10 new ones from Coach Kulagin's team, the Wings of the Soviet, which finally won their National A championship this year. Their shot from the blue line is well wide of the mark. It goes out to center ice, and there's a long pass over on the wing to Mike Walton, but that puck is bouncing. He has to wait for it to settle down. Paul Henderson threw that pass, but he threw it while he was down on one leg. Now the play comes out to the front of that Soviet net. Walton trying to come back. It's taken at the blue line by Ricky Lee. Lee with Walton. Walton takes that pass over on the left wing, looking for the drop pass to Henderson. He shoots. Oh, and Tretjak made the save. Canadians are not just shooting blind. They're looking for the play and making the play inside the Soviet zone. Back out to the blue line. Over to Bodnov. Bodnov, number 24. His poke checked out of the play, and is taken now at center ice by Brad Selwood with Bruce McGregor. McGregor, drop pass here for Walton. Walton wasn't quite ready. Now Henderson throws a body check that hurts. Back on that left wing is Harlamov, but it bounced over the top of his stick, and it goes inside, deep inside Canadian territory. Out in front, hopped over Vasilyev's stick. We have 1:25 left in this first period, and this is Paul Henderson with Harlamov, and Ricky Lee takes a run at Harlamov and knocks him down. Out at center, taken by Petrov. Petrov over on the wing to Mihайлov. Mihайлov with the big defenseman Alexander Gusev. Gusev goes in, the shot is blocked, and it's Bäckström clearing to center. 1 minute and 2 seconds left in the first period. Canada leading 1-0. A long pass over there to Harlamov. Harlamov at center. Paul Schmier, intending the pass for Bäckström, was well off the target, and it's picked off by Gusev. Gusev was stopped there by Gordie Howe, and it's Harlamov has to go in. Bäckström is there, almost picked it off, and it's back inside Soviet territory. Bäckström steps into him, gets the puck, trying to get that pass in front. Oh, they bang at it, and they've got Bäckström tied up completely, but there's no whistle on the play. Now it comes back to a long bouncing shot off the boards. That's loose in front of the net. And it's Jerry Chevers who finally sits on it, as Harlamov was banging away at a rolling puck.
Johnny, as long as this continues to happen, one Canadian in, and you see how the Canadians have picked up the puck? They've picked up their wings. We get the puck, and here we get a real good scoring chance from it. As long as we send just one man in, the wings pick up the wings and come back with the Russian wings, our defense can stand up and in the mean get a hold of that puck, and we'll go all right the other way.
Interesting note off our computer that Ralph Bäckström has had 6 face-offs, and he has won 5 of them. Here comes Johnny McKenzie at center ice, looking for that rink-wide pass to Lacroix. And it's picked off by the Soviets. Yakashev. Yakashev with 5 seconds. Playing it over the line, hit by Bobby Hull. He's knocked down. Play goes to the corner, and the buzzer sounds to end the first period. And what an opening period of hockey this has been. Canada opened on top. They did it by forechecking early. They completely tied up the Soviets, and as a result, they settled down. They gained a lot of confidence. And Billy Harris, by changing his lines every 40 to 50 seconds, kept them fresh. And so at the end of the first period, with the score, Canada 1, the Soviets nothing. This is game 1 from Quebec City.
Just 2 years ago, world hockey got underway amid a whirl of skepticism, and here they are playing the Soviet Union in a Summit Series and heading into their third, a bigger and better season. One of the driving forces behind the WHA and also the chairman of the steering committee for Team Canada 74 is Winnipeg's Ben Hatskin. Ben, a very exciting and productive first period.
God, it was great, Al, and we predicted that our team would come out there and give all they have, and it just shows what a bunch of fellas can get together, and they're just going back and forth, and this is going to be, I think, one of those great ones. If you think 72 is a great one, well, God, I hope my heart can handle it instead.
Ben, going into the new league season, you've added some teams, and you've got some bigger and better and younger and more superstars, and you've also got the addition of some good buildings.
Yes, with our WHA has now Edmonton with a 16,000, Cleveland with about 17,000, Indianapolis with 16,000, Phoenix with 15,000. And in other words, in the last 2 years, our main trouble was the buildings. And now we're just getting the new arenas, and we're doing it. I think that everybody in the WHA is doing a great job. And we sure are happy to be representing Canada today.
Well, I'll tell you, this is a tremendous showcase for your league and the stars of your league. And the way it's turning out, so far, it's doing the league nothing but good.
I think it's going to do our league a lot of good. We'll hope we can win, but all I can say is for Team Canada 74, they'll give everything they got.
Ben, thanks very much, and good luck in the series.
Thank you very much.
Now let's go back upstairs to Johnny Esau.
Some interesting notes here from this new game recorder that we have. And it indicates that Serge Bernier has won 99% of the face-offs that he's been involved in. The two captains of the respective sides are receiving television sets, and each game the players will vote as to the outstanding player, and they will then receive watches, or at least television sets, and then at the end of each game a panel will select the most outstanding player, and he will receive a set of Olympic coins. But to get to some other interesting statistics, J.C. Tremblay has been good on 78% of the passes. He's made 9 passes so far, and Pat Stapleton has completed 88% of his checking. These are statistics that will throw at you from time to time to give you an indication of how the individuals are doing. Now, this is a brand new computer, but unfortunately it's only programmed to handle one team so far, but eventually the game recorder will handle others. We have had a lot of speculation, of course, as to the outcome of these games with the Team Canada 74 and the Soviet team. There was a lot of speculation because of the fact that Canada's team is averaging 39, or at least not averaging 39, averaging 29 years of age, but have players ranging all the way from 23 to the age of 46, and you know who that is. I asked Goody today how it was for young Mark and Marty not to be selected for this first game, and he said, well, it's always disappointing to everybody, but of course they're pros. And he said, you don't have to worry about it, but they are pros. There's a look at our good friend Nikolai Ozerov, the Soviet play-by-play commentator, with Igor Cherikov. They're on the phone to Moscow there now, as you can see, getting ready to start the second period, as these games are being televised back to the Soviet Union, so you know that about 100 million people will be looking on. Well, it's tomorrow over there now. Now we're going to start second period. And Coach Billy Harris will be starting the French selection line. That is with Régine Houle, Serge Bernier, and Mark Tardif. Bernier and Houle with the Quebec Nordiques, and Tardif will play with the Michigan Stags. Going back at the fence, Whitey Stapleton and J.C. Tremblay. Center ice is going to be Petrov with Harlamov on the left wing and number 13, Mihайлov on the right side. And the second period is underway with Canada leading 1-0. Here's Bernier on the right side to Houle, and Houle is called offside. I think from day one in training camp that Régine Houle has been the fastest player on the club. But as we tried to make our prediction as to who would do what, I kind of felt that Ralph Backstrom would be one of the keys to this club, because Backstrom has just been a sensational backchecker throughout the series against the Western Junior All-Stars. Here's Régine Houle again, flipping it in and moving in. Canadians are only sending one man in, keeping 2 men back. The play comes out to Mihайлov. Mihайлov intercepted by J.C. Tremblay, who dumps it right back in again. Now there's a play. There's going to be a penalty called here on Régine Houle, as he dumped Alexander Gusev, is called for tripping. Joseph Kampala, watch it for yourself.
He gets the stick up kind of high, and I just think he caught him sort of off balance. I guess he hit him on the knee, and down he went. It has to be a tripping penalty, but it's he let a lot more than that go in the first period, Johnny.
Well, I thought that with Joseph Kampala, who was in the big Hayru over in Moscow, I thought that he would let an awful lot go in this series, and he did in the first period.
Well, he made the period. He sure did. It helped.
Well, they're playing rough, tough hockey if they'll just let him play hockey. But now is the first opportunity for that famous Russian power play. It's number 17, Harlamov. Bruce McGregor's out there killing penalties with Paul Henderson. Here's Harlamov going over the line. He shoots. That's loose in front of the net. It bounces off to the wing. Here's a race for it with McGregor losing it to Gusev. And then it bounces off a leg and goes out to Harlamov at center ice. Harlamov is being hounded there by Paul Henderson. Back up to center ice again is J.C. Tremblay. Watch him kill time here. Good move by Tremblay. Henderson goes in to do some bumping, keeps the puck inside the Soviet zone. Canadians are going pretty deep, but they're only sending one man in. Now it's Mihайлov at the blue line. Pass to the corner to Petrov. Petrov looking to set it up. It's broken up by J.C. Tremblay. to Mihайлов. Mihайлov around the boards to Vasiliev, number 6. Vasiliev back over to the corner again. That is picked off by J.C. Trombley with a minute to go in the penalty. That is fired down the ice. Shot is blocked by the goalkeeper, Tretьяк. Vasiliev leading the four-man attack at center ice. Up to the Canadian blue line. Trombley knocked the puck off his stick for a moment, and then he dropped the stick on the ice to intercept the pass. It's Mihайлov back to the blue line, getting set. They're in that four-man box. They take the shot. They bang at it, and the goalkeeper is down. Trombley goes over to help Chivers get the stick. It's back to Gusev. Gusev with 20 seconds left in the penalty. Back out in front. Gusev shot. It's franked off the stick of Yakушев. To Vasiliev. Vasiliev can't get a shot. Back over to Vasiliev again. It's knocked off the stick and cleared down the ice. Mark Tardif, number 22, and we have 5 seconds left to go in the penalty. Back come the Soviets, led at center ice by Alexander Gusev. Gusev back out to the line to Maltsev. Maltsev shoots. Oh, and it's a great save by goaltender Jerry Chivers, and the Canadians are back at full strength. The puck is held against the boards, and they finally get a whistle on the play. One thing I noticed out there, Howie, and the fans might look for it, when those players are next to each other, boy, they're taking two-handed shots on those ankles.
They sure are. The only time we're in trouble in that whole period is when Bernier went out to the point. Just watch the Russians throw this puck around, and a great save by Chivers. Just a great save.
Frank Mahowlich beats a pass out to Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe being caught from behind by number 8, Kapustin. Here comes Kapustin. And it's right in front of Mahowlich. And he hits the goalpost. Frank Mahowlich putting it out in front to Gordie Howe. Howe stick handling with it. And he loses it. He gets it back again. Back to pass. Over in front to Mahowlich. Over in front to shoot. Tretьяк kicked that one out. Canadians pouring pressure on as Shadrin starts Maltsev away at center ice. Maltsev in front of the net, and the pass is intercepted by Mahowlich. Here comes Mahowlich with 3 men back. He tries to stick handle through, but Shadrin brings it back. Maltsev at center ice. The pass over on the left wing is to Shadrin, and Rick Smith blocked it. Ralph Bäckström for Canada, fighting for it along the boards. Loses control of the puck, but he ties up his man, which is what you must do. And Gordie Howe clears to center. Canada leading 1-0. And coming back for it is Yuri ल्याпкин. He got a goal and 5 assists against Canada in the 72 series. Here comes a great young player, but the rebound off the goal pad of Jerry Chivers back to Tsygankov. Back to Maltsev. And the faked the shot, and the puck was knocked out to center ice. Back comes Anison, number 22. Anison being tied up by Johnny McKenzie. Here comes the puck loose on the opposite side as McKenzie gave him a rap. Lebedev on the wing over there to Bodnov. Bodnov at the Canadian line. The pass over to Anison, and he lost it through his skates. Anison is bumped in there by Bobby Hull. And Lacroix goes back of his own goal. There's going to be a penalty called here. Here comes the puck out to the line, and it's picked off, and the whistle blows. And he looks like he's going to be calling a double. Andre Lacroix. See if we can get what happened on the replay as Johnny McKenzie goes in.
A little bit of hooking right here. Now watch the Russian player come through the center. There's the only chance, and the Canadians forgot to pick up the Russian player coming through the middle. He's home free, but we couldn't get him to him because 16 does a great job of checking. As long as the Canadian fellas continue to take the man, as they have been doing, the Russians are going to get very few scoring chances.
Well, the double penalty is ल्याпкин from the Soviets and Johnny McKenzie, a 37-year-old Wrangler who's just in perfect shape. He said he hasn't been feeling this good in years. So it'll be Whitey Stapleton and J.C. Trombley with Henderson and Walton to kill off the penalty. And for the Soviets, it'll be Harlamov and Mihайлov. Stapleton takes it around the back of his own net. Tries to dump it out to Henderson, but he loses it. And it's picked off now by Mike Walton. Mike Walton drops it for J.C. Trombley. Trambley starts up the center. Long pass over to Walton, breaking right in. He cuts in front. He hit the side of the net as Mike Walton went it in just a half a stride too deep. Back comes Mihailov. Mihailov is caught from behind by Henderson. And the puck goes out and is called offside. What a back checker that Henderson has turned out to be.
He sure comes back. He really does. Great pass here, and Henderson stayed on Henderson's stick, and he just had to pick it out of the air. This Walton here, if he cuts a little more, let it go for the short side.
1 minute and 31 seconds remaining in the double penalties. Well, as I said earlier, these members of Team Canada, they're emotionally high, and the fans here in Quebec have just given them tremendous emotional support. Serge Bernier is out there with Regine Houle to kill off the balance of the penalty. Now it's Vasiliev, number 6, back for the Soviets. He's a good rushing defenseman with Gusev. Here's Gusev, number 2, feeding it ahead to Harlamov. But Harlamov couldn't see a clear pass, so he goes for the big skate. Gusev to Vasiliev. Vasiliev at the line. Here's Mihailov. Mihailov with Vasiliev. It's out in front, and it's a break. Here he comes on the right side with Bernier. One man back. Bernier with Houle trying to get it through. He goes it to Houle, but it hit his stick and went astray. Could not get a shot off it. Gusev with Bernier. He fires it around the back of the net. 14:26 remaining in the second period. Canada leading 1-0. Down the left side is Mihailov. Mihailov has been getting tremendous ice time. Gusev stopped there by Bernier. Gets away from Bernier. Puts it in front. And it hopped over the stick there of number 17, Harlamov. But Pat Stapleton has him tied up. Now it's Bernier. Bumped by Mihailov. And it's around the boards to Mаховлич. 27 seconds left in the penalty. Here's the pass. J.C. Tremblay with Bernier, and the pass did not go across. Gusev put his stick down. He almost deflected it into his own net. Now they got Mаховлич winding up on the wing. Tremblay over to Bäckström, and Bäckström had it hop over the stick, or he would have been home free. Face-off will come back out to the center red line. We have 6 seconds left in the double penalties.
Playing 4 aside, it sure is a freewheeling, wide-open game, and all Tremblay had to do was get that puck a little bit in the air and over the stick, and Bernier had a whale of a chance.
Head coach Boris Kalagin with Yurzhanov and Konstantin Lokchev, 2 great former players with the Soviet team. They're now assistant coaches. The teams are back at full strength. Maltsev, number 10, left wing pass, puts it back into Lutchenko. Lutchenko being shadowed by Gordie Howe. But Howe doesn't go in too deep. He makes him make the play. Puck is brought out to center ice, and there's Schmier hitting Kapustin. Here comes Canada, led by Gordie Howe inside that Soviet zone. But the puck comes out to the Soviet blue line. The pass over to Kapustin. Kapustin stopped from behind on a beautiful back-checking job by Paul Schmier. Here is Shadrin. Shadrin back to the line. There's a shot that's off the target. Back over to Tsygankov. Here's a breakaway. Going down there with Mаховлич and Bäckström. Now, let's see what he shoots. He shot. And the shot hit a pad. Back over to Paul Schmier. It's deflected in front. And the Canadians are trapped. Here come 4 Russians at the blue line. Rick Smith with that long poke check steers him wide. It's out to Lutchenko. Scores! Vladimir Lutchenko all the way from the blue line. Let his shot go right along the ice, and it's a 1-1 hockey game.
You begin to see signs here of the pace telling on the Canadian team. They're getting caught too deep in the Russian zone, and they're just not able to come back. We got caught with 2 men on the fly in that goal, Johnny.
With the score, Canada won and the Soviets won. This is Game 1 from Quebec City.
Even if I trained until 1976, there's no way I'd make it into this Olympic Stadium in Montreal. I'm just too old.
But hundreds of young Canadian athletes will be here with the help from the O'Keefe Sports Foundation. They're helping our kids prepare to meet and possibly beat the best in the world. You know, the O'Keefe Sports Foundation assists more than 35 amateur sport groups. Hey, is that any way to run a brewery? You bet it is.
12 minutes, 34 seconds remaining in the second period, a 1-1 hockey game. Now it's Bobby Hull's line with Andre Lacroix and Johnny McKenzie. McKenzie at center. The pass was behind Hull. Johnny McKenzie throws a check at the Canadian blue line, knocked the puck back out to center ice. Andre Lacroix picks it up. Lacroix over to Bobby Hull. Bobby Hull was shot from behind, and he couldn't hold on to it. Now it's brought back out at center ice. It's taken there by Brad Selwood. Kuznetsov, back of the goal. Long forward pass to his own line to Anison. Over to Johnny McKenzie as the pass went astray. Bobby Hull is knocked down, and play carries right on. Out to the blue line. Here is Bruce McGregor trying to keep it inside that Soviet zone. Lacroix just fighting like a demon down there. Still has the puck. Puts it out in front. They bang at it. And it just went by the goalpost. Bobby Hull is bumped. He has the puck. Hull puts it out in front again. And they were changing players and were caught a man short. Back come the Russians 2-on-2. Here's Lebedev. Lebedev trying to get that backhand pass to Anison. Anison's shot never got away as he lost it in his skates. Back to the blue line. There's Anison being bumped by Ricky Lee. Puck is taken there into the corner by Selwood. And they're really doing some shoving in front of that net. It's back to Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov takes a shot. Bobby Hull checks in, but he's still got the puck. Puck goes to the corner. They're trying to throw it out. Oh, they had Mike Walton all alone at center ice, but they couldn't get the pass out as Lebedev and Ricky Lee were tying each other up in the corner. 1-1 hockey game. First game in the 8-game series that'll be in Toronto on Thursday night, in Winnipeg on Saturday afternoon, and in Vancouver on Monday night. Mike Walton, scoring champion of the WHA, goes out there against Petrov, number 16 for the Soviets. From the draw, it's back to Stapleton, to Tremblay. Tremblay ahead, but he can't get it out. Taken out by Mike Walton, cutting in. A man back, pass across, they shoot! Oh, a great save as Carl Henderson had Tretchak gone down on one knee, and he let the shot go right at him. At center ice, it's taken again by Henderson, who threw a bump at Harlamov. The pass over here now to Mike Walton, but it goes too far, and it's called back for icing.
That Henderson's speed certainly stands him in good stead. He picked up a great pass from Walton there, and Tretchak had to be very good to make the save.
Billy Harris had some tough decisions to make. A lot of the players, of course, they all wanted to play in the first game, and he said they'd all play in the series. He said his final decision came down between Frank Machowicz or Mark Howe, and he chose Machowicz, who had such an outstanding game in the last game in Edmonton, and that was what the deciding factor. Here's Vasilyev's shot, blocked, and Canada led by Bernier. Bernier out to the line is called offside. Went over two lines. Have a look at the intermission, the referee's clinic at intermission today to show you how some of them were picked and some of them were trained for this series. Here comes Bernier. He cuts into center ice, and he goes over in the right wing and overskated the puck as the center ice pass came from Regine Houle. Now at center. There's a tremendous body check, and he flattens Harlamov. Mikhailov back over there now to Petrov. Petrov to Vasiliev. Going in over the line, and the shot does not go across. Vasiliev back out in front to Mikhailov. The bouncing puck is taken by Bernier. Here comes Serge Bernier, looking for that long pass. Here we go. Tardif getting first their shot, but he's too far into the corner, so he looks for the pass out. Back to the blue line to J.C. Tremblay. Tremblay uses it inside the Canadian zone, but back after it goes Serge Bernier. Bernier comes out to the side of his own net. He's cut from behind there by Petrov and came dangerously close. Russians have it again, but this time it's picked up by J.C. Trombley. Trombley racing down the right side with Regine Houle. Trombley looking for somebody to pass it to, and it's knocked off the stick onto the stick of Mihайлov. Mihайлov going in with Vladimir Petrovich, and it's off the back of the boards and the back of the net, and finally brought back out on the right side. Here we go, breaking right in there is Bäckström, but there'll be a penalty called here. A half a stride, and Bäckström would have been home free. If there's such a thing as a good penalty, I guess that's the one to take, Howie.
Well, he's pretty safe in calling it. We want to show you this great check by Houle on Harlamov. Here's the penalty call coming up in here. Yes, they did take the feet from under him. No doubt about it.
And the signs flash up, go Canada, go across the rink. We'll have a look now at our first opportunity of
Here's the check. Just watch this. Isn't this something? Look at them line them up. Hey, just great bodily contact. Woo! Who parked that truck there, he's wondering.
Regine Houle only goes 165 pounds. Really have 180. Now the Canadians have a chance for a power play, and they try to hold it in. It's taken there by Paul Smith. A great play to Gordie Howe. Howe with Mahowlich in front of the net. Back to Bäckström. Over to Bobby Hull. He shoots. Hits the side of the net. And it's knocked into the corner again. There's Bäckström fighting over to Hull. Hull with Smir. He shoots. Oh, and that hit a leg. It's knocked over there to Smir. Smir holds it in. And Smir is knocked down. Here comes Shadrin. Shadrin at center ice. Canadians had a great shot off that power play as the Big M winds up in front of his own goal. Down that right side. Gets away from Yakушев. The pass out to Gordie Howe at center is intercepted and shot back in. Minute and 17 seconds left in the penalty, and here comes Bobby Hull with Gordie Howe. What a combination. Mahowlich is the other winger. Going into the corner, Gordie Howe goes in to fight for it. He and Cıgankov have it. Back to Walton, out in front. Here's Bobby Hull, shoots, scores! Bobby Hull.
Howe makes this check here. He takes the Russian right out and hangs on to him. Walton picks it up, throws it out in front of the net. And Big Shorty, how about that shot? Wrapped it in off the post. The crowd's going wild here in Quebec.
Bobby Hull, who has scored 658 regular season goals, 1,268 points, and we now have a 2-1 hockey game. So with the score, Canada 2, the Soviets 1. This is game 1 from Quebec City.
Believe me, when we light the Olympic torch on this site in 1976, everyone will share in Canada's pride. You and I can help participate in Canada's first Olympic Games and make them a great success by buying these beautiful sterling silver Olympic coins. 7 sets of 4 coins each are being issued. Series 2 is available now. Order your coins today. The minting is limited. Olympic coins are available at banks, financial institutions, and authorized coin distributors.
Bobby Hull. Gordie Howe and Mike Walton get credit for the assist on the goal. 7 minutes. 7 minutes and 50 seconds left in the period, and the Canadians take it right back down to Soviet territory with Paul Henderson holding it there for the whistle. Henderson, who joins the Toronto Toros along with the Big M. And the Big N, Big Nadamansky, I'll bet you he's kind of enjoying this back there in Toronto tonight. Walton with Bruce McGregor on his right wing. Henderson goes in bumping, and the puck comes back out to the blue line. There's Ricky Lee. He shot one wide. Here's Walton. He shoots. Oh, and it went by the corner as Mike Walton gave it a great try. It's Henderson tying up number 22, Anison. Got out of here by Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov at center to Maltsev. Maltsev at the line, tries to slide through, and there's going to be a penalty called here to Brad Selwood. As Selwood dumped the Soviet player. And now the Soviets get a chance for the power play.
Walton had quite a chance to score a goal there. All he had to do was get it up high, but in the WHA they're allowed a severely curved stick, and he just got the puck along the ice. Tretьяк come up with a great save. Here's the penalty coming up. I don't know about that.
Well, he got him. It's a bit of a swan dive, but also a pretty good pull on the stick by Selwood. No penalties in the first period, but we've now had 5 in the second period. Brad Selwood, the 25-year-old defenseman from the New England squad. And now Canada sends out Mahowlich out there along with Ralph Baxham to kill off the penalty. Whitey Stapleton is out there along with J.C. Tremblay. And now the power play for the Soviets, being led by big Alexander Yakушев, number 15. Yakушев at the line, drops a pass over to Maltsev. He's got a man in front of the net. Back to Lutchenko. Lutchenko shoots as a bouncing puck goes through. And Mahowlich takes it against the boards but can't clear it out. It's brought out in front of the net. There's a shot. Oh, a great save by Jerry Chivers. J.C. Tremblay flips it high in the air and down the ice. He wasn't going to take any chances on having that puck trapped inside his own zone. Maltsev has it picked off again by Frank Mahowlich. Mahowlich killing time. He gets over the line and he fires it down with 1:10 left in the penalty. Serge Bernier is now out there along with Ray Jean-Houle killing off the penalty. Up there now it's number 5, Yuri ल्याпкин. He can't make hay with it, and they're trying to tie it up along the boards and get a whistle on the play. Referee Jim LeBlanc, the Canadian linesman. There'll be a Canadian and a Soviet linesman in each game, but we could have a Polish referee, a West German referee, a Canadian referee, or a Russian referee in each of the games. 54 seconds left in the penalty, and it's Bernier going to center. Now with Vasiliev, number 6. He takes a look. Trying to get set up properly here to make the best advantage of the 47 seconds left in the power play. Harlamov being hounded by Houle. He's up center. Harlamov can fly. Going over the line, trying to break his way through. He scores! Oh, a sensational goal by Harlamov, who broke right through there, and he shot it to the top right-hand corner. There was no mistake about that one, Howie. That was pro all the way.
All right. You don't see that type too often. Just a great play. The wings were open, and this is the problem why the defense had to split. Just look at that shift. Now watch him tuck it upstairs, too. Just hits Cheever's stick right upstairs underneath the crossbar. Here he comes again from the other end. This is just a great shot. Look at how the defense opens up. Tremblay waves at him, tries to hook him. They get him with the stick, but too late, and in she goes.
The 2-2 hockey game, 5:51 remaining in the second period. And the play comes out on center ice. Led over here now by number 11, Yuri Lebedev. Lebedev, here's intercepted. Johnny McKenzie goes in and he shoots. Here comes the rebound, and Bobby Hull couldn't get to it. Back out at center ice, at the line, and there's Budenoff being knocked down by a good hip check. And the puck bounces to center. Vasiliev was given credit for an assist on that goal. There's going to be a penalty called here, as Paul Smear and Bobby Hull together hit Lebedev. And once again, we'll have a Canada for the man in the penalty box. It's Paul Smear. Power plays have been a factor. The last 2 goals were scored on power plays.
Paul Smear, 2 minutes pour avoir fait réduire le temps 14 minutes 38 secondes. Team Canada penalty number 18, Paul Smear, 2 minutes for tripping.
Time of the penalty, 14 minutes, 38 seconds.
McGregor goes out to kill off the penalty with Henderson. Stapleton takes it around the boards and clears it to the line, but not out. Taken by Harlamov. Harlamov passes it over on the wing, is kept in. Gusev fakes a shot, fires the pass to the corner. Canada sitting in the four-man box now, trying to force the play by the Russians. You'll notice McGregor's not rushing out to the puck carrier there. It's knocked high in the air, comes right back onto the Soviet stick and went wide of the post. It's Harlamov. Harlamov right in front of that net. Puck bounced over Petrov's stick. Back to the blue line to Gusev. Gusev fakes a shot, then lets it go. Checked out by Chivers to the corner. Back to the line again to Gusev. Gusev shoots. That's a block. It's taken by Paul Henderson. Henderson fires it down the ice. Minute and 11 seconds left in the penalty, and it's a 2-2 hockey game. Frank Mahowlich comes out with Ralph Paxton now to kill penalty. It's Petrov on a drop pass to Harlamov. Harlamov shoots, it's deflected. Goes up over the glass and out of play.
That takes great discipline to maintain your position in the box like that with the Russians throwing the puck around the outside.
Rather starting to get over the jitters. I recall before the first game of the last series, Paul Henderson saying that his body was so tight and brittle that it was expected to just shatter on the first impact. Well, I'm sure that a lot of them feel that way, but there have been some shattering impacts so far in this game, and they're both settled down and they're playing outstanding hockey with 4 minutes and 11 seconds left in this second period. Now the Soviets with a power play. It's Kapustin. He's stopped by the Canadian defenseman. And it's Mahowlich is taking a body check from Tsygankov. Off to catch Big Frank like that, but he comes roaring back. Here's Maltsev in over that line. Maltsev has it taken away from him and dumped out to center ice. Knocked down by number 7, Tsygankov. Kapustin, number 8. Around his own goal. Back out to Shadrin. Shadrin hit by Mahowlich. Back over to Ricky Lee as the Canadians are killing off time here. Oh, Ляпкин breaking in, but the puck is bouncing. They're all taking whacks at it. Nobody seems to get control of it. Here is Shadrin, and now the teams are back at full strength, but the Russians have control in the Canadian zone. Back off the board. It's Maltsev. Maltsev being shadowed by Backstrom. Taken off the stick of the goalkeeper, Jerry Chivers. And Ricky Lee goes back of his own goal. He's caught from behind. Shadrin has it. And Schmier runs him in the boards, and Schmier is going to take a penalty. Well, Howie, this is the thing that they were very worried about in training camp. Paul Schmier is a rough, rugged hockey player. He likes to run at people.
Well, he run at him there, and all he had to do was keep the stick down. It would have been a great check had he just kept the stick down below the hips. And look at this, he brings it up, and the referee has no choice when you get the stick in the hand up and nail him like that. Our problem all started here, though, that when we got possession of the puck, then our 3 forwards moved out again, and that puts too much pressure on the 2 defensemen that are handling the puck in deep.
Team Canada's penalty to number 18, Paul Schmier. 2 minutes.
Here's another angle on that check.
Time of the penalty, 17 minutes and 2 seconds.
And it hurt. There you can see him heading in. Here he comes. Now watch him get the stick up and the glove up. Pretty good contact, but a little illegal.
They have to keep holding play up as rubbish is being thrown on the ice. They were fortunate to survive that last penalty, but you know, you can only give the Russians so many power plays before they're going to crank one on you.
Well, I just sit here and shudder when we start to play offense before we get the puck out over our blue line.
Righty Stapleton flipped that puck right in front of his own net, clears it to the line, but not out. Here it is back out in front. Oh, and a shot by Lebedev was right. They bang it, and loose puck to score! With Petrov standing right out in front of the goal and nobody there to cover him. And now the Soviets go in front 3-2. So the power play continues to work.
The Russians keeping it in. The problem here again is that we get control of the puck and throw it out to the point. And from the point, the Russians keep it in, and we get running around. There the puck is kept in. It's fed back in front where there are 2 Canadians and 3 Russians. 2 Canadian players go after the puck, and there's the Russian home free with the 2 chaps who are out too far, coming in too late.
Here comes the break now with Bernier going in. He's got Tardiff on the left wing, but he couldn't get that pass across. Around the back of the net is Bodunov. Bodunov to Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov starting out on that long forward pass to Lebedev, who's waiting up at the center red line to Bodunov. Bodunov going in. He's caught from behind by Tardiff. He kind of let his shot go, but it was weak as he was being tied up by Tardiff. Soviets leading 3-2, and that's the first time they've been in front. But they've been doing it with the advantage of the power play. 3-2 the score. One of the things that concerned Billy Harris with his defenseman was not so much, well, hitting like that and taking penalties, but rushing defensemen. He was afraid that defensemen like J.C. Trombley might try to carry the puck too much. Now, with the Soviets inside the Canadian zone, it's Bobby Hull with Andre Lacroix. Rick Smith takes that pass over to Johnny McKenzie, and he couldn't get going with it. Back they come to that Canadian line. Bodunov. Bodunov back over in front to Anison. He shoots. And that shot is blocked in front of the net. Back comes Bobby Hull. Bobby Hull stick handling across on the line with Paul Schmier. And the pass went too far astray. Back comes Schmier. Schmier back inside his own zone to Ricky Lee. Or to Rick Smith, rather. And it's back to Paul Schmier. Schmier at center. Pass is blocked. Bodunov has it. Bodunov to Anison. Anison looks for that drop pass to Lebedev. Lebedev is hit. 2 Canadians rushing in to throw the body check, and that's a mistake. Here comes Lacroix going in. Lacroix cannot get that pass across. Here's Andrew Lacroix to Bobby Hull. He shoots just wide of the net. Right out in front again. Here they race for that loose puck, and Rick Smith shoots. They bang at it, and they hold it out underneath Tretchak. Kuznetsov and little Andre Lacroix were having a shoving duel in front of that net, but Tretchak had the puck underneath him.
Watch this blazer. Isn't that something else by Hull just off the post? Here's the loose puck. Great save. 2 Canadians trying to put the puck in the net, and we just can't get it in.
They're getting those chances. And it was nice to see them come roaring back like that, so that one goal that was just scored on them won't take too much steam out. And Frank Mahowlich's shot is a soft one along the ice. Looked like he changed his mind between a slap shot and a wrist shot and let it go very weakly. Now Gordie Howe. Back over at center race to Selwood. Over the left side to Mahowlich. Mahowlich going in over the blue line. Trying to work it out in front of the net. They loose. Here it is. Oh, and off the stick of Farrell Backstrom, and he couldn't get a shot. Kapustin. Down the line, he's hit there by Lee, maintains his balance, however, and now it's into the corner. Out in front, here comes Ricky Lee, looking for somebody to pass it to. Nobody's open. Finally put it right out of the stick of Kapustin. Kapustin is stopped. It's back to the blue line. And Gennady Tsigankov, number 7, back out at center. Passing it around now to Ляпкин. Ляпкин, number 5, with 24 seconds left in the period. Ляпкин fakes a pass, still has it, intercepted by Gordie Howe, and the Canadians are backing in now, playing a little more defensive-minded hockey. Out come the Russians at the blue line, and there's Lee throwing the body check that misses. He almost let the wingman slide by and get a shot on him. Mike Walton with one hand dumps it out, and he goes over the line, but the buzzer sounds to end the second period. So the Soviets, with the advantage of the power play, come back with 2 goals to finally go on top 3-2. But I think that the discussion in the intermission this time will have a lot to do with the runs that they're taking in the corners, keeping the sticks down so that they're not being trapped for those penalties, because the Russian power play is just simply too potent, and you can't afford to let them have that too many chances. With the score, the Soviets 3 and Canada 2. This is Game 1 from Quebec City. More enthusiastic
enthusiastic hockey crowd in all of our country than right here in the Coliseum in Quebec City every time we come here, and particularly tonight for the big Canada-Russia series. And we're up in the stands to get some reactions from some of the fans on hand. And could I get your name?
Lynn Lavoie.
And what do you think of the hockey game so far, Lynn?
Oh, I enjoy really much the two first periods. And here the tension is really hard. But it will be tough for the both teams. And I hope the Russians will win the series.
You hope the Russians will win the series?
Yeah, because this is my own opinion.
I see. Sir?
I think it's a good game so far. I think the Canadians are in far better conditions, physical conditions, than 2 years ago. Will be able to hold their breath until the end of the series. This I hope, and the penalties also, I'm afraid. I think Spears took 2 penalties, very costly penalties, and it's a tough game, but I don't think that you should push it too hard so that you're in the box and the team is not complete on the ice. I think this is a great point for that the coach will have to watch.
Thank you very much. Let's go down a row here, and could I have your name, sir?
Jacques Perrault.
Jacques, how do you feel it's going for Canada? Do you like our chances?
Well, not too good up to now. I think if our boys stay on the ice, we might have a chance. But if they keep taking penalties, this will be it.
Is this Mrs. Perrault here?
Yes.
Mrs. Perrault, how are you enjoying the game?
I'm enjoying it very much. It's one of the most exciting games that I've ever attended. And I have great confidence in Team Canada. Both teams are working very hard, but I'm sure that we're going to come out on top.
I want to say something for your great city. I've never seen such enthusiastic hockey fans.
Well, I agree with that. There is a bit of tension, of course. I don't think many of us are going to sleep tonight, but that doesn't matter. It's worth it.
Thank you very much. That's typical of the kind of enthusiasm for this big game number 1 of the Summit Series. Now back to Don Chevrier.
And Al, you're absolutely right. These fans here in Quebec City are very knowledgeable and just tremendously enthusiastic, as we saw right from the introductions of the players at the beginning of the game. To recap the second period for you, after McKenzie put Canada on top in the first, the Soviet team tied it up, Lutchenko scoring, then Bobby Hull on a power play made it 2-1 for Canada, and then penalties hurt the Team Canada club, with Harlamov and Petrov both scoring on power plays, while Paul Schmier took very aggressive penalties in the penalty box. And so after 2 periods of play, the score is the Soviet Union 3 and Team Canada 2. Just about set now for play-by-play in the third period. So let's go up to Johnny Esau and Howie Meeker.
Right, Don. Well, the sentiment for Canada is going to be Andre Lacroix, Petrov for the Soviet Union as we get the third period underway. It's a 3-2 hockey game, and the clock will show 9:55 right now because they'll play the third period in 2 10-minute periods according to international rules. Vasiliev, number 6, inside his own zone. As the Soviets with a 3-2 lead come rolling out. Mihайлov going right in, and he overskated the puck. Had nobody to beat. He had Jerry Chivers coming out. Everybody's overskating the puck. That ice must be very wet down there, and as a result, they can't drag that puck with them. Here's a shot from the corner. It's taken now by Bobby Hull. Over to Andre Lacroix, and he overskates it. The ice is simply wet and sticky. Here goes a shot that does not get off a stick. There was Harlamov, who was not even going to try to slap it. He was going to try a wrist shot, and even that didn't get off his stick.
Well, the Zamboni, when they flood the ice, goes through that area about 5 times. And unless it freezes, there's all kinds of water left in that one spot. And that's what's happened there. Just unbelievable, isn't it?
Well, I guess if I'm Team Canada, I gotta like that, because what's happened there is nobody's going to get any shots on goal on you. Now, Bobby Hull, one of the Team Canada coaches, or assistant coach of Billy Harris, has gone down and asked them to come out with some squeegees or shovels and get that out of there. Now, what they should have done...
No,
I
doing it at the right time.
No, I noticed now that even as the helper comes out, even as he put the shovel down inside the Soviet end, I noticed that water came up onto the shovel, so it's partly wet all over and not just down in the Canadian end. You know, Billy Harris' theory is that there are other things in life than hockey, but as a way of life, hockey is pretty hard to beat. And this was some of the preaching that he was doing to the players as they came to camp. And you can imagine he's doing this to 10, 12, 15-year veterans. He's telling rookies the same thing and trying to sell that message He challenges his players to do things. I don't order them to do things. I challenge them. He said, challenge them to get in shape. He challenged them to reach certain goals. He challenged them to report to camp in certain conditions. And he said more than 50% arrived in better shape than he had possibly hoped for. He's always talked of hockey in terms of diplomacy instead of victory, but of course he doesn't disagree that winning is important. He would like to accomplish more than just win. Maybe his ideals are set too hard. At any rate, Billy Harris, pretty fine kind of a guy to have in hockey, and the contribution he has made to Team Canada 74, I think, has just been superb. They could not have made a better choice, and the way that they have handled themselves so far has been in direct support of Billy Harris and this team. Good crowd, big jam-packed crowd. At 6:30 they open the doors. The official is getting cheers for taking the shovel off. That's about the only time they cheer officials. But the players are skating around us, letting the ice dry a little bit. All the Russians left the bench to go out and skate. I don't know whether they were trying to do it to psych Canada or not, but in the last 5 minutes, just before they left the ice, just before 8 o'clock in the warm-up, the Soviets, from their own blue line to their end zone, did stops and starts for about 2 minutes. Now, either they're in fantastic shape or they're trying to psych the Canadians. At any rate, it looked pretty good. Well, we're back underway again with 9:15 remaining in the first half of the third period. And for Canada, it's Pat Stapleton at the line. Maltsev takes it away from him, and Andre Lacroix brings it out with Johnny McKenzie, but he couldn't get that pass across. Back inside the Canadian zone, Bobby Hull pokes it out. Hull to McKenzie, McKenzie to Hull. And they're still having trouble controlling that puck. That ice is still wet. Very jam-packed crowd. It's very humid in here. That's, Maltsev, you don't see him do that very often. Slipped and fell. Lost his balance completely. Now we have Bobby Hull winding up inside his own zone with Whitey Stapleton. Back over the center on the right side to Hull, trying to get him to get his shot away. There it is, but it was blocked. The puck was rolling, couldn't get a good piece of it. Long shot down the ice, it's right on goal. And it's shot out ahead here to Tremblay. Tremblay to Lacroix. Lacroix back to Johnny McKenzie. And McKenzie can't get a play. So Whitey Stapleton turns inside his own zone. Head to Lacroix with Hull, looking for Hull on the left wing. The pass went there, but Hull had turned to come the other way. 3-2 hockey game in favor of the Soviets. Game number 1 in the series. Anison, number 22, up to center. This kid can fly. Here's a shot, and Chivers turned to the side. Into the corner, Regine Houle. Round the boards to Lebedev. Lebedev stopped by Mark Tardif, and it's cleared down the ice. This goes all the way, and the ice looks pretty good now because that slid pretty quickly. Billy Harris, when he was coaching in Sweden, played the Soviets 3 times, and he lost 1 in the last minute and tied the other 2. Serge Bernier. Along with Regine Houle and Mark Tardif, the forward line. Paul Schmier fighting for the puck inside his own zone. Knocked the helmet off number 24, Bodnov. Ahead here to Paul Schmier. Schmier, number 18, waiting. And he decides to carry it up on the right side. It's taken, going right in for it. Here goes Regine Houle in the corner, trying to get Bernier set. And the puck did not come across. Rick Smith, number 17, at the line. There's Serge Bernier bumping into Lutchenko and knocked him down. Oh, they take the swipe at a player, but the player goes by him. Kuznetsov shot is wide, looking for the rebound, but Jerry Chivers clears. Out in front to Lebedev, to Bodnov, out in front. Oh, and the shot by Kuznetsov was wide of the target. Here's Lebedev, and the Russians are in control now in this third period. Lebedev to Bodnov, but sliding in front of it was Paul Schmier. Schmier back of his own net. To Serge Bernier. Bernier to Schmier. And they tie it up along the boards and finally get a whistle on the play. Schmier is a different hockey player in this third period, Howie.
He certainly is. He had 2 opportunities to make illegal checks, and he made real good, solid checks. I believe Billy Harris has told them, look at fellas, don't vacate our defensive zone too soon, because all the time that the Russians had 3 attackers in there, he had 5 red jerseys in behind the face-off circles, and that's what they're going to have to do and get their breaks from there.
There's a loose puck in front of the net, and Chivers makes a great save, and they finally clear it to the blue line. Here's a shot. Picked out now by Mike Walton. Walton with Henderson and McGregor going in over the line, and McGregor had it knocked off of his stick. Back come the Soviets at center ice. Cleared off on the wing. Back after it is Vasiliev. 3-2 for the Soviets. Vasiliev in the long lead pass to Harlamov at center. With Vasiliev, the forward. He gets away from Henderson, and the puck is poke-checked back to Henderson. Henderson off the boards to Lee. Lee has trouble controlling it. Henderson has it. Puts it right on the Vasiliev stick, and then he takes it away. And Henderson goes down. Now Lee takes a senseless run on a hockey player. Henderson can't get out. It's taken out by Mike Walton. One man back. Walton trying to get by Gusev. Gusev pulls him down, but play carries right on. Back come the Soviets, led here by Petrov. Petrov at the line, a drop pass for Harlamov. Shoots! Oh, and a great save by Jerry Chivers. The most shot-at goalkeeper in all major hockey last winter with the Cleveland Crusaders was Chivers. He faced 2,000 of them, maybe some like this.
Just a great save, and Chivers has made 2 in a row just like this. Puck bounced off the stick of Tsygankov, and then he was given a wrap there by Mahowlich. Chivers has to come out to clear to Mahowlich. Stapleton finally dumps it down the ice, and it rolls all the way into Soviet territory, and is called back for icing. I might point out, you mentioned curved sticks earlier. International hockey only allows a half-inch curve. The CHA has the same rule, but the WHA allows an 1.25 inch curve on the stick, and that's the rule that they have adopted for this series. Well, I'd hate to measure some of them out there.
Here comes Stapleton trying to break out from the face-off. Puck slides ahead to Ляпкин. And it's at the line, Gordie Howe has been out for a rest. He's out there now with Ralph Backstrom and Frank Mahowlich. Back comes Kapustin. And he is stopped by J.C. Tremblay. Here's Howe to Backstrom. Backstrom off the left side. Over there to J.C. Tremblay, and Tremblay couldn't get it in. Back after it is Stapleton. Stapleton fires it all the way down to Soviet territory, and we have 4:32 remaining in the first half of this period. 3-2 for the Soviets. A long pass to Kapustin. Kapustin being steered off there by J.C. Tremblay, and he fires it off the boards to Mahowlich. Mahowlich can't get it out. Puts it onto the stick of Kapustin over to Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe. Left wing pass to Mahowlich. Mahowlich racing into the corner. Mahowlich around the boards, lost the puck. Tsygankov. That puck hit his stick and bounced all the way out to J.C. Tremblay at center. He was wrapped there by Kapustin. Tremblay was down, and there's a hooking penalty being called. So Sergei Kapustin, and I might tell you, if there's a hockey player who's got a hot streak going, it's Kapustin. He came into this game. He has scored 13 goals in the last 16 games he's played.
Well, he has that type of shot. Team Canada, I think now are going on hardened experience. Certainly they haven't very much left physically. Here's the penalty coming up. As long as they don't get 2 men caught or send 2 men in too deep, they can maybe tie this hockey game, and there's one chance coming up right now.
Vasiliev is hit there by Bobby Hull, who's back out on the point on the power play. So we have Schmier starting it away with Bobby Hull. With Lacroix, Paul Henderson, and Johnny McKenzie. Up over that Russian blue line. Hull takes it in, feeds it through, and a beautiful fake. It's over to Andre Lacroix. Lacroix moves it to Mihailov. It's back to Bobby Hull. Hull shoots. Oh, and a great save there by Tretьяк. Henderson fires it up into the crowd. And out of play. Interesting to note here that Big Yakuşev is not dressed in this third period.
He's got a groin injury, and that's a big loss to them because he's a good one. Now we have Paul Smir at the line for Canada, carrying it into the corner, looking for that point pass. Push it right out in front to shoot! Oh, and a great save there off Henderson. Around the back of the net, Vasiliev, taken by McKenzie. McKenzie back over to Paul Smir. He shoots right in front, and he tried to deflect it in. It's intercepted now by Petrov with a minute left in the penalty. And Petrov flips it high in the air and down into Canadian territory. 55 seconds left in the penalty. Bobby Hull feeds it ahead to Paul Henderson with Johnny McKenzie. McKenzie going in. McKenzie cutting in the short side. Right out of front. Oh, and Andre Lacroix misses. Here comes Jerry Chivers out to the blue line to stop the shot, to feed the forward pass, to keep the power play going. Oh, but it's knocked off of Bobby Hull's stick. Now we come up again. It's Mark Tardif, number 22. He has it poke checked away from him by Maltsev. Maltsev shoots. Oh, and a split save by the goalkeeper, Jerry Chivers. Then Schmier takes a run at Shadrin. 17 seconds left in the penalty. Johnny McKenzie across the ice here to Serge Bernier. Having trouble getting the power play started now. Bad pass back to Bobby Hull. Hull around to Serge Bernier. And we have the teams back at full strength. Serge Bernier at center ice. Over to Reggie Newell. Who'll break in, trying to get it ready for this. He shoots. Oh, that's great save by the goalkeeper, Tretjak. What a move by Uhl.
Yeah, he went around that Russian defenseman. Just take a look at this, like he was tied on. Just a great move. Great pass by Bernier. Now look at here. Look at the Russian defenseman. Never made an effort to go and get him. Watch him cut in here, forcing Tretjak to make a great save.
Well, he tried to pull Tretjak, and instead of pulling all the way to make him come, he gave him a half pull and then tried to go back to the short side. Minute 45 left in this first half of the third period. There's a slap shot that just wide of the ball. It bounced loose. Oh, right over the top. As Regine Uhl had a great chance on the rebound. Uhl is playing fine hockey out there. It's taken at the line, and it's finally kept in, and it rolls out. There's Lutchenko letting a slap shot go, but it was a roller. Tremblay off the board, stopped by Anison. Gets it again, kicks it ahead. Tremblay. Oh, he tried to get it up there to Tardif. Tardif over to Tremblay. They're inside the Russian zone. He keeps it in. Canadians have three men right out for the shoot. Oh, and Tretjak was down. Tretjak shakes his head in disbelief. He didn't know he'd made the stop.
Just great pursuit here by the Team Canada players. Look at this save. And Hull, great shape. Certainly working his heart out.
The French, they call that line the French selection. And obviously very popular here, and they're going to be very, very popular all over because that's a great line. Petrov, number 16, comes to center. Mike Walton gets the draw, takes it over to Mike Walton in front of the net, trying to get a shot away. There's McGregor, shoots! Oh! And Tretjak did not see it. Back come the Soviets at center ice. Mihailov reaches forward to block the shot. That is taken now by Henderson. Henderson coming up now with Walton. One man back. Can he get it across? No, it hit a broken stick. Piece of a broken stick lying on the ice. Henderson still has it. Here it is right on the front. He shoots. Oh, and Tretjak makes another save. I can't believe it.
Henderson right on the puck. Watch the pass to McGregor, and McGregor's home free and tries to get it up high over Tretjak, and he still makes the save. The rebound would not go to Walt. Look at here. Look at him post in home free. Nobody there. Look at three Russians in the corner. A little bit of pressure, and they break down as well.
There's another look at it, and Tretjak is either calling time for a breather by telling the official there's something wrong with his pad. At any rate, it's very smart if he is doing that because the Canadians were flying. Now it's going to be Backstrom, Hull, Mahowlich, Smir. And finally, Rick Smith, who was late getting out. There's a shot right to the side of the net by Gordie Howe. Howe reaching for it, held in. Long bouncing shot. Here's a race for that puck. And Kapustin comes diving over. He goes sliding right into the net as he went over top of Rick Smith. And then the goalkeeper, Chivers, came out to grab it to make sure it didn't go astray. Ralph Backstrom is leading so far. He's won 67% of all his face-offs. And right behind him is Mike Walton, who's won 57%. Serge Bernier has won 80% of his face-offs.
Just an unbelievable hockey game for being the first one in an 8-game series. You think it was the 7th and final game of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Just a tremendous game.
Here's Gordie Howe reaching through that maze of legs to pull that puck out. Gives it to Whitey Stapleton. Stapleton ahead on the wing to Mahowlich. Couldn't control it. Now he has it back to Howe at center. Gordie Howe bumps it ahead there to Backstrom. Backstrom trying to stay on side, was off balance. J.C. Tremblay. Stapleton to Howe. Back over to Backstrom. Over to Mahowlich. Good passing combination. Right over here to Howe in front. Oh, he was called as the buzzer sounded to end the first 10 minutes of the third period. So now that they'll change ends.
Because of the rules of the International Ice Hockey Federation, both teams will now exchange their respective ends.
And with the score, the Soviets 3, Canada 2, this is Game 1 from Quebec City.
Это банк, где люди составляют разницу.
Yeah, well, I've been wearing it all along, but they haven't got a thing, so I'll put it back in again.
Three to 2. Soviets over Canada. Lacroix and Shadrin in for the face-off. Back over to Maltsev as he goes in. Right from that left side, his shot. Oh, and a fine save by Jerry Chivers. What a glove hand stop that was. There's a look at that play again as you see Chivers reaching for that top left-hand goalkeeper. The all-star goalie, formerly with the Boston Bruin Ironmen. And we almost had that break-in pass there for Bobby Hull. That's the one they've been trying to set up for him. J.C. Tremblay, back of his own net with Pat Stapleton. Stapleton leaves it for Hull. Now they're trying to get him wound up. He gets by Anison. Gets by 2. Out to center ice. Down the right wing. Trying to get by Lutchenko. Gets by around the back of the net, and then he has it again. Here's Bobby Hull right out in front. After all that work, nobody there to get the shot away. Here's Johnny McKenzie. Over on the left side to Hull. Will he get a shot off the boards? He does! Oh, and Tretjak made the save. Oh, that's the kind he waits for.
When he comes out of his own zone there, Johnny, he just flew by 2 Russians like, you know, like they're tied on. When he gets under a full head of steam, I guess there's nobody in hockey anywhere can touch him.
Well, he's certainly one of the most electrifying players of all time. He was 4th in scoring, 2nd in goal scoring. He ranked 3rd as the most sportsmanlike player in the WHA. He was an all-star, 2nd all-time scoring to Gordie Howe with 657 goals. Here he is now with Serge Bernier to Houle behind the net. Houle trying to set it up now. Fires it across, but it hit his skate. Bernier's parked right in front of that goal. Ray Jean Houle right out in front. And it hit a stick and went astray. Routed now by Harlamov. Harlamov cutting over on the right side. He loses his balance. It's taken there now by Tardiffe, but he was tripped. Play carries right on. Inside goes Mihайлov, who shot. And that was blocked there by Jerry Chivers. Around the back of the net, Chivers takes a look at it because they didn't seem to be able to control it. It's still lost back of the net. Here comes Tardiff with it. Mark Tardiff, number 22. Around to Ricky Lee. Canadians having trouble getting started. Lee to Tardiff. Tardif's long pass out here to center ice. Over the line, going in is Bernier. He shoots. Oh, and Tretchak dropped him again. Bernier leaning against the board, just shaking his head. He cannot believe it.
Just watch this great shift by Bernier and walks in home free. Look at there. The puck goes with him. Straight it out. Tretchak makes a pretty good move, too, to try to put it between his legs. And the Soviet goaltender covers up. Hey, it's got to be a goaltender's game, Johnny.
Well, Tretchak has robbed Team Canada now just consistently. Oh, rolling puck went right to him there. Fired off the board, just kept it the line, but it's outside. That was a good call. Good call. Came out a couple of inches, but the linesman was right there to see it. Mike Walton gets the face-off over to Schmier, back to Walton, then over that line, back over to Henderson. Henderson trying to set it up, and it hits his skate. Still has control of it, however, bouncing right out in front of the net. And it's cleared up to the line. Shadrin, number 19, over to Kapustin. Kapustin, number 8, into the corner. With Andre Lacroix, has him all the way. Now it's Henderson. Henderson gets it out. Here's a race for it with Mike Walton. Walton can't get control. Henderson has it, but he has to kick it and lost control in doing so. Now it's Paul Schmier. He stopped up the Soviet line. Maltsev. Maltsev gets away from the check by Henderson and is taken by Paul Schmier. Schmier loses it. Here goes Maltsev. One man back, trying to get set for that shot. He does. And it hit his stick and went wide. Now Bruce McGregor. Ahead to number 18, Paul Schmier. Schmier pokes the puck ahead as they're changing players on the fly. It's Rick Smith with Frank Mihайлович. Long shot goes into the corner. 6:56 remaining. Long shot goes all the way down the ice, and that'll be called back for icing. Two or three things I've noticed that are different in recent years is that the Russians will send 2 or 3 men into a corner that they didn't used to do. They're forechecking like they didn't used to do, and they're icing the puck.
That's
which
right.
they didn't used to do.
That's right. I might mention here that Rick Smith just finished playing 2 great shifts of hockey. That he continues to check like that. He's all right.
Back out to the line. Led up here now by Lebedev, number 11. Lebedev is steered off by Whitey Stapleton, and Mahowlich has it. Mahowlich up with Backstrom. And the Rover skates it. Now it's taken by Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe with Backstrom. Works his way in. Backstrom is called offside. Russian linesman made the call, and with the score, the Soviets 3, Canada 2. This is game 1 from Quebec City.
When you take off, don't be leaning into the dive. Stand it up. Move it in.
I coach diving, and one of the ambitions of my divers and myself is to win medals in Olympic Games or international competition. And through the O'Keefe Sports Foundation, this is something that is now, I feel, a possibility.
Carling O'Keefe, is this any way to run a brewery? You bet it is.
Now as they move into it with Petrov up to that Canadian blue line. Johnny McKenzie has his elbow up high. Play carries right on. It's back to McKenzie. McKenzie trying to send it up on that left wing pass out of Bobby Hull. Here's Bobby Hull going in over the line. The pass on the right side was offside as Andre Lacroix could not put on the brakes. Andre Lacroix, who was the leading scorer in the WHA in its initial season, second behind Mike Walton last season with 31 goals and 80 assists. He's one of the smoothest centers around at 175 pounds, although I think that weight flatters him just a little bit, although he hits like that. 5 minutes, 51 seconds remaining in the hockey game. Soviets leading 3-2. Canadians with Johnny McKenzie and Lacroix keeping it inside. Right in front. Bobby Hull. Andre Lacroix to Bobby Hull.
Here you see the Russians vacating the slot. It's not often where they send two men into the corner, and this is what they do here. And the man at the point did not come back and move into the slot with Bobby Hull. Now just watch. I was sitting here thinking, just give Bobby Hull one shot. You know, we've come on since the first 5 minutes, Johnny. First 5 minutes of the third period, looked like our fellas were really physically beat, dead tired. They've come on real strong in the last 10 minutes of this hockey game and could have had a couple of goals.
3-3 hockey game, and the Canadians, you're right, have had control here in the third period. Here comes Mark Carter racing down that left side. And he gives Cıgankov a wrap around the head as he goes through. Here it's held in by Rick Smith as he and Kapustin fight for it. Now they battle for it. It's taken by Mark Tardif. Tardif trying to set it up in front. Right out in front. Right back to the blue line to Schmier. Schmier shoots. That's deflected to the side of the net. Tardif just by the goalpost. And it comes all the way out to center ice. Rick Smith and Paul Schmier are back. And Schmier is back to make up the play with Serge Bernier coming in to hold it against the boards. Mark Tardif just missed the goalpost by a fraction of an inch.
You know, you just have to have a fantastic pride in the way these fellas are playing. They've reached down to the bottom of the well, found heart, found strength, found that great professional pride they have, and they're trying to win a real good hockey game.
There's the Prime Minister with Doug Fisher, the President of Hockey Canada, and Mr. Rogolsky of the Soviet Union. He keeps looking up at the clock, as all of us are. 4:59 remaining.
Been a great night for Bobby Hull, John.
Think of the ovation when we get to Winnipeg on Saturday for Bobby Hull.
Especially if we happen to win one or two.
McKenzie, Hull and Lacroix. Hull got 2 goals, and that line has been on 2 goals as a complete unit, and Hull got 1 from Walton and Howe. There's the play. Now at the center ice. Mike Walton trying to reach for it. Taken by Henderson. Henderson is pulled down. Going to be a penalty. Interesting statistic from our game reporter, Bobby Hull, has made 10 passes, and he's given 99% on his 10 passes. Amazing.
He hasn't missed his target very often. I would kind of think here the crowd called the penalty, and the referee had no intention of making the call. I wish we could see him in our picture, but he was watching the play. Now watch his hand go up after the crowd hollers.
You know, this sounds like Game 8 in Moscow 2 years ago.
This sounds like the greatest entertainment in the world, John. And that's what it is. You can't beat this hockey.
Minute 55 left in the penalty as Paul Schmier tries to come outside of his own zone. Around the boards to Bobby Hull. A 3-3 hockey game, 4:30 remaining. Now it's Gordie Howe. He fires it across, but it's too high. Soviets are killing this penalty very well. Howe changes hands on the stick and pulls Petrov. Here we go, Hull going in with Gordie Howe. Here's Howe shooting. Oh, one by the goalpost. Back out in front, back to behind the net to Gordie Howe. Which side's he coming out? To Bobby Hull. He shoots. Oh! And Howe almost deflected it in. Back out in front again. And that was intended for Hull, but it cleared down the ice. Back comes Paul Schmier. Schmier is having trouble controlling it. He holds it there and again mazes the legs, but Lutchenko clears it down the ice. A minute and 3 seconds left in this penalty. 3:42 left in the game. Here comes Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe at center. The pass to Frank Mahowlich. Mahowlich looking for Hull. There's Hull at the side of the net. Trying to jam it from the short side, right in front of his feet. Oh, and a great save as the defenseman Lutchenko fell in front of it and blocked it. 39 seconds left. Canadians are changing on the fly. Schmier leaves it back there now for Serge Bernier. Bernier overskates it. It's taken back here by Harlamov. Harlamov, and it comes out to center ice. Harlamov still has it, however. 20 seconds left in the penalty. Gusev fires it down into Canadian territory. And I'll tell you, these are two tired hockey clubs right now. 3-3 the score. There will be no overtime if it stays this way. Here comes Serge Bernier. Bernier hits Shadrin. Here goes Whitey Stapleton. Stapleton shoots, but it's called offside. Willie Harris was smart, Howie, in changing them as frequently as he does.
There's no doubt about that. That's been a key maneuver, and I think the experience of the fellas, too. They've I think, reduced the time that they're spending on the ice. They make one or two shots, and then they get off. And this is the only chance they have of maintaining this pace. You know, one of the greatest skills in the game is being able to play close to your top performance under the threat of being hit. Good bodily contact hockey, which we've had here tonight. And it's brought the Russians with their Humpty Dumpty style of play, their smooth passing, really back. And you see them making mistakes that they've never made before.
2 seconds left to go in the penalty. 2:45 left to go in the game. Now the play comes back here to Paul Schmier. Long shot, an easy shot. It's turned aside by Tretjak. Now the play is out to the blue line, and it's offside as Walton dumped it in. And McGregor thought he could sneak it out before the official could see it, but of course the official saw it. To Bruce McGregor. McGregor dumps it in. 2:27 left to go in the hockey game. The question is, will they play Kitty Bartley? Here's McGregor intercepting right out of front. There it is! Oh, and Tretjak grabbed it. Henderson was wide open on the left side, but the puck didn't come off his stick at a good angle, and he couldn't reach it.
Well, when he moved it from his forehand to his backhand to get it over to Henderson, it started to roll, and he just couldn't get it on his stick. Hey, would you believe? Would you think it's possible if we do get the winning goal, Henderson?
Well, he got the 3-2, the 4-3, and the 6-5 2 years ago. McGregor's interception.
There you are. He tried to take it to his backhand so he could get it through to...
That'll be an offside if Henderson touches it. You know, somebody who has not been given much credit here tonight, and I think is playing a whale of a game, is Paul Schmier. You know, he's a 28-year-old, with Cleveland. By the way, he comes from Cutworth, Saskatchewan. Just thought I'd throw that in. Played with Vancouver, the Western League, with Dallas, Chicago, Dallas, Portland, Dallas, and then finally Chicago for 2 years. And now with Cleveland. Now Whitey Stapleton feeds it to Johnny McKenzie. McKenzie loses it, but he got back in a hurry to make sure he couldn't lose it to a Soviet player. Now it's Stapleton ahead to Bobby Hall. J.C. Trombley dumps it out to the line to McKenzie. McKenzie, it's offside. Vasiliev took it in. The Russian player trapped in over the line. Team logo, we've had people wondering where that team logo came from. It's an interesting story. Johnny McKenzie racing down that right side. He got Lacroix in front of the net, and the shot never quite came to him. McKenzie has it again. Out in front, and Bobby Hall was being too well tied up by Ляпкин. It's hailed in by Whitey Stapleton. Back out now to Ляпкин. Ляпкин's long shot turned aside by Jerry Chivers. 1:33 left to go. Here come the Canadians, led up here now by Lacroix. On the right side of Johnny McKenzie, looking for that drop. Puts it out in front of Lacroix. Couldn't quite get to it. Andre Lacroix feeds it back to Bobby Hull. Hull to Lacroix. Цыганкov has it. Цыганкov is hit there by Johnny McKenzie. Oh, he got out of the way just in time. Here it is in front of that Soviet zone. The Soviet player lost his glove on the play as he was hit. Here they come up to that line. It's Maltsev. He's out of the play. Back with Johnny McKenzie, and he clears out the center with a minute to go. Back out to the blue line, it's Kapustin. Kapustin, and they clear it. Out to the line, but not over. As Whitey Stapleton broke his stick, and he was playing without it. Naturally, goes for a new one. Here we go with Gordie Howe. Out in front, Frank Mahowlich. He shoots. Oh! Missed the open net. Gordie Howe set him up beautifully. Tretьяк went down, and Mahowlich shot wide.
I believe he got in a little too close. Now watch this play here. See that two-hander? Howe took the Russian off the puck, give it to Mahowlich, made the deed, got in a little too close. It just caught Tretьяк's shoulder and bounced off to the side.
Well, whatever happens, get ready for games 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Johnny, this club can't do anything but get better. And so many times I've seen the Russians pull away. I thought they were a tough, strong Czech hockey team. They've turned off that puck.
36 seconds left to go in the hockey game. As Ralph Backstrom, the draw comes back over to Mihailov. Mihailov feeds it to center to Petrov. Trying to feed that breakaway pass to Harlamov, but it's no good. Now it's J.C. Tremblay. Back out to Backstrom. Backstrom on the left side. Here goes Mahowlich. Mahowlich has it knocked off of his stick. Back over into Gordie Howe. Howe to Mahowlich. Cleared out to center with 16 seconds to go. Now it's Mahowlich winding up on the right side. Over there to Backstrom. Gordie Howe takes it away from him. Howe carries it inside the zone. With one hand, he knocked it in. 5 seconds to go. Then he takes a run at Gusev. And the buzzer goes. It's all over.
Just an unbelievable hockey game.
Canadians are down there mobbing Jerry Chivers for the game he played. The Russians mobbing Vladislav Tretьяк, who made some sensational saves. And the teams in the traditional handshake at center ice, they get a standing ovation from the crowd. The Russians mobbing Vladislav Tretьяк, who made some sensational saves. And the teams in the traditional handshake at center ice, they get a standing ovation from the crowd here in the Quebec Coliseum. And it's, I don't know how the panel of judges is going to pick it out. Canada outshot the Soviets 34-28.
Johnny, how lucky are we? We have 7 more like that coming.
The final score, Canada 3 and the Soviets 3. This is game 1 from Quebec City.
Горжусь тем, что я люблю страну. Уверен, что счастье я найду. Да люди, как вы, и люди, как мы, просто люди. Вот он факт.
Я люблю то, как в Канаде растут сбережения. В Торонто-Доминион-банке есть много способов сбережений. И потому что проценты так высоки, сбережения растут быстро. И еще дружественные служащие в Торонто-Доминион даже помогут вам избрать такой сберегательный план, который будет наиболее подходящим для вас. Канадцы, вы, наверное, имеете большое удовольствие наблюдать, как растут ваши сбережения в Торонто-Доминион. Это банк, где люди составляют разницу.
Mesdames et messieurs,
Jack Cameron, ancien gardien de but de l'équipe olympique canadienne version 1924, va maintenant présenter deux ensembles de la première série de monnaie olympique aux joueurs canadiens et aux joueurs soviétiques, choisis par un panel d'éditorialistes sportifs canadiens et soviétiques comme ayant été le plus utile à son équipe au cours de cette partie. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Cameron, who was the goaltender for the 1924 Canadian Olympic team, will now present two mint-proof sets of Olympic coins to the Canadian and Soviet players selected by a panel of Canadian and Soviet sports writers and broadcasters as being the most valuable players in this game. Pour l'équipe soviétique, for the Soviet national team, le numéro 17, the number 17, Valery Harlamov. Et pour l'équipe Canada 74, and for Team Canada 74, le numéro 16, the number 16, Bobby Hall.
Stars of this game number 1 of the Summit Series, and on my immediate right, the star of the Soviet Union, Valery Harlamov. Valery, congratulations on a great individual goal. I'm wondering, did this Canadian Team 74 surprise you any?
Поздравляю вас, Валерий, с замечательным голом, который вы забили. И что вы можете сказать, чем вас удивила эта новая команда, новая по сравнению с той, что вы встречались в 1972 году?
Ну, она, во-первых, удивила тем, что очень корректная команда.
It surprised us because it played correctly. I'm interested also if this team, in his consideration after one game, is better than 72 Canada.
Что можете сказать по первому матчу? Эта команда лучше выглядит, чем предыдущая команда.
Но мы прошлую команду мы очень боялись.
We were a little bit scared of the 72 team.
А эта команда лучше нас узнала, поэтому с ней труднее играть.
But this team used to know us better, and therefore it was more difficult to play against them.
Do you think that we're going to have all close games like this, Valery?
Как вы думаете, они в дальнейшем будут так же хорошо играть?
Я думаю, еще лучше, наверное, будут.
Well, I think they will be playing ever more, ever better.
Valery, congratulations again. Best of luck in the series, and Igor, thank you very much.
Еще раз большое вам спасибо и желаю вам удачи в дальнейшем. Thank you.
And now the Golden Jet, Bobby Hull of Canada. Bobby, congratulations on an outstanding performance. I know you've waited a long time to play in one of these. 2 goals and 1 assist. You've got to be thrilled.
I certainly am. I still have all the respect in the world for that Soviet team. They were terrific, although, you know, our team played so darn well tonight. We just had a little sag when we had our penalties. We had a couple of bad penalties, and that's where they won the game on us. But they're a game group of athletes. They're great skaters, and they play the game the way it should be played.
And Tretьяк put on a fine show in the late going.
He certainly did. He's a great goaltender. He stands there. He challenges the shooter. As you saw when Frank walked in, I had it notched up. Frank doesn't very often miss, but Tretьяк stayed with him and moved across the net with him and didn't give Frank any place to shoot when he went by him.
Bobby, did they do anything that surprised you from the preparation and watching videotape?
Now, I saw them practice over there, and I saw them do everything well. They skate well, they move the puck well, and they're deadly on power plays, and we're just going to have to get fewer and fewer penalties.
And the answer, of course, I guess, is just skate, 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 and stay out of the penalty box.
You have to stay out of the penalty box, and you have to stay with them. You can't get caught in their end. If you notice, very seldom tonight did we get caught where our defensemen were just 3-on-2. We always had one guy at least coming back, and that's the way we had to play him.
Bobby, I want to say also, in addition to your 2 goals, I thought your passing was just superlative.
Oh, I think we'll get better. You know, everybody was so tight. I was so tight for the first 2 periods, I couldn't handle a puck. I went to get a pass over here in the first period, and it was just like so. And I think as the series goes, we'll loosen up, and we'll get in better condition, and I think we can play better.
Bobby, I've seen your curve stick. They have curve sticks with a bigger hook.
Oh, yes, they do. I was noticing that over there. I was just wondering if they were going to put any rules out to limit their curve, but they've got curves just as big as mine.
Bob, congratulations. Best of luck in Toronto.
Thank you very much.
Bobby Hull, the Golden Jet, as Canada plays to a 3-3 tie with the Soviet Union. Now back to Don Chevrier.
Well, if this is Game 1, which it is, it was exciting. Imagine what the rest are going to be like the rest of the way. And Game 2 goes on Thursday night in Toronto, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Check your listings. For now, Don Chevrier, good night from Quebec City.
Game 1 of the Canada-Soviet Series. Live from Quebec City. Brought to you by Toronto Dominion Bank, the bank where people make the difference. By Gulf Oil Canada Limited, its dealers, agents, and distributors across Canada. By Carling O'Keefe, brewers of O'Keefe Ale and Old Vienna Lager Beer.